Hello, everybody. How we doing? Do I sound better today? Do I sound more crystal clear? Dragon, hello? Mic check. How are we sounding? Can you hear me? Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Hope everyone here is having a great day. Can't believe it's already Thursday. That is insane. Thursday, another stream. You hear me? Awesome. Awesome. Love to hear it. Well, everybody, welcome back to another Aquatica dev stream. I am going to have to let you guys know. I know you guys asked for it on Tuesday. Still no webcam. I'm sorry. Still a work in progress. Still getting things rearranged in the new setup. All right, the new little streaming corner where we can do these streams for you. So that will be coming. The webcam will be up and everything will be back to normal on the stream next week. All right, that I can confirm with you. Mainly because my webcam hasn't gotten here yet. So that's why. But welcome, everybody. We have quite a bit to talk about. And let's get the chat up here. Let's get the intermission screen. You guys can see when you're chatting on there. We've got some notes to go over. We've got some patch notes, some updates to talk about from yesterday. We've got some tames to look at. We've got quite a bit to discuss today and to explore, as well as some additional notes that I did receive moments before starting the stream related to the Devkit. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna cover all that after our first segment here, which is going to be our Q&A, which I'm going to go ahead and actually just jump right into this. We're going to open up the floor to everybody here. So if you guys have questions, if you guys have anything you would like to share with the team regarding your experience with this latest update and patch, please, floor is yours. I've got my pen, I got my notepad, and I'm ready to jot stuff down. Devs are in chat as well, ready to take screenshots of messages. Jammy will be in here too momentarily, so whatever you got, throw it out there. But if not, we'll just hang out. Yellow. There's Jammy. Everyone say hi to Jammy. Hey, welcome, Jade. Hello. How are you? We're just opening up for Q&A before we go into the patch notes segment. So, how are you doing with the latest update? Have you played it yet? What's your experience like? Would love to hear some feedback. Man, must be a quiet Thursday today. Everyone's probably at work still. We're just hanging out. That's alright though. We'll still continue on nonetheless. But if there's no questions, no chat, no banter, then let's go ahead and talk about the patch that rolled out yesterday. Kind of a bit of a drop here with some new stuff that we've added. And I think especially some of the PvP players, if not a large majority of the PvP community in Ark Survival Evolved, are really going to appreciate this update. As well as PvE players with some of the quality of life adjustments we've made. So let's get to the main screen. Alright, starting off, good afternoon. We continue our efforts to provide updates as we address Ark blah blah blah. You guys have read this before. You guys don't want to read that. We want to roll down to the good stuff, the juicy stuff. Okay, let's talk about the top portion here. So, last Friday, we pushed out a patch that caused extended loading times for the main menu when loading into the game, especially with certain VPs like the primal game data, as well as even the main menu to be freezing. This issue was immediately addressed, and we began to work on it throughout this week. And so with that, what we had to do, we had to revert the initial fix, which the initial fix for the dinos and ships disappearing, as well as cryopod issues, in order to reduce the loading times and the primal game data. Basically what happened was when we rolled out this patch, something else was causing this issue. Something in the fix was causing the long loading times with the primal game data, so that's why we had to roll it back. So downside of this, the dinos as well as the ships disappearing, that is rolled back and back on the drawing board, and we are addressing that issue. But upside of this, the loading times to actually get into the game have been removed. It doesn't take you 10-15 minutes to load primal game data. So I just want to clarify that. Current top priority issues, these have been the same. We remain on top of these. FPS and level optimization. This will be a continuous fix throughout numerous updates. This will not be a one and done update for it, just because we have to go through multiple sections of the map to optimize it, make sure that the level streaming is functional and it's stable, as well as work with additional fixes from the level design department to help improve FPS. So expect to see continuous rollouts for that. Mod compatibility and the dev kit. We're going to talk about the dev kit here after I go through the patch notes. We still are currently working to going down the list of the broken mods that the community has provided. On the 22nd of this month, we pushed out an update with a list of about 25 mods that were confirmed working from our side. If anybody here is experiencing issues with any of the mods in that list, please reach out to us in the Discord, send us a bug report, or ping us even in the chat here. Server issues. Now, there's some people that are still asking, quite a few asking as far as like the cluster transfers. That is included in the server issues category whenever we talk about server issues in general. If that's something that we need to specify as like what server issues, then I can ask and get with my team, and we can see if we can make it more specific in the list here. But when we talk about server issues being a top priority, we also are talking about cluster transfers as well. So just want to clear that up there for you. As well as core functionality. Core functionality, there's a few things within the core game that are still causing things to break, causing crashes, things like that, are core bug fixes that we are still working on. These are not overnight fixes. These are more complex issues that the team is working on day in and day out to fix and get pushed as soon as possible. So those will remain top priority. And again, I want to reiterate, the FPS and level optimization, as well as the mod compatibility, all of these top priority issues, expect to see rolled out in continuous patches and updates. It will be iterated on throughout time. So just want to make that clear. Let's talk about the patch notes from yesterday. What was pushed out in this patch? What did we add? We've got a really awesome list down here as well. Pretty excited to talk about in a second. So we fixed a crash issue when accessing a custom radial menu. We realized that for the radial menus, there were periodic crashes for players. We were able to replicate this and then find a fix for it and push that out. We added the spear bolt to the anvil, so now the spear bolt is craftable. There were some resources, harvestable resources throughout the map that provided players with crystallized wood, such as like different coral structures, but they didn't really have that crystal aesthetic to them, so it was a bit confusing. So for those additional resources, we made a visual update. So now you should be able to go see, oh, clearly that's a crystal that gives me crystallized wood. I can go harvest that. And later on, when we get into exploring the anniversary island of the plaza, I'll show you what I'm talking about with that visual update, because I have it queued up. Balancing of the Thalassian rifle damage. This one we had to balance just because it was set at a incredibly OP rate. This one was something that was brought up to us from multiple of the PvP players. This was something that was brought up in a report, so balancing for the Thalassian rifle has been added to the game. You should definitely see that with this update from yesterday. Raft launching fix. So there was an issue where the raft, when players launched it and attempted to pick it up or sail with it, it would essentially yeet them to the sky of the map and crush them or flatten them, ruining all their inventory, everything they had with them, killing the player by hitting the top map boundary. We have found a fix for this, and we have fixed that. So that has been resolved and pushed out from yesterday's patch. The monodon ranged attacks, we have fixed that so it will no longer damage players and dinosaurs that are immune to range damage. So there is a consumable that allows you to be immune from range damage, as well as some of the other tames that you can acquire, such as the Rift Crawler, prevents you from being hit by range damage. Other creatures, such as the Samathua, who is a ranged resistant boss, is included in this fix as well. So that has been pushed up as well. Speaking of bosses, tech items. There's been a lot of talk regarding tech items, tech drops, and tech engrams for bosses. They're not in the loot pool. Where are they? When are they going to be in here? Well, we've got a few to talk about that are in the game now. We'll look at those in a second. We fixed a few issues with some dino overspawns, such as the Carcinos and the Trilobites. There was a severe overspawning issue with that, which has then been fixed. Adding in the alpha Carcino spawns, we noticed, and players were reporting that the alphas were not spawning with the base Carcinos, so that has been included in this update from yesterday. We also updated some select environmental visuals, such as lighting, other foliage materials, things like that, to kind of help stabilize, provide better optimization for the map. So just small quality of life improvements there. And then, like I stated in the top paragraph, we reverted the initial fix for dino and ships disappearing, as well as the cryopod issues to prevent the long loading times for primal game data, as well as the issues with the menu freezing. I know that sucks, rolling back something like that, but it was something that we had to do. We felt it was necessary as a team to do, because rather than, you know, have you guys, we don't want you guys to have to wait 10 to 20 minutes to play your game, to log into your server, as well as sit on a frozen menu wondering if the game is crashing or not. So we had to roll that fix back. That's still being addressed, and we will push that fix back out at a later date. ETA on that will be provided when we are given that information, or when I'm given that information. So keep an eye out on the Discord as well as socials for that ETA. Missing meshes are also being addressed and will be restored, such as other mesh holes, any non-visible meshes in some of the sections of the map. Those are being addressed, and we're getting those back added in. This has to do with our current progression of the level optimization and the FPS and level streaming. So that is being included in that category there. So all of these are what have been pushed out to you, the players, the community, for Aquatica and ASC yesterday. This went live yesterday. Let's talk about this list that's down below. this is something I think everybody's been kind of waiting on. Everyone has been asking for. Tech engrams being added to the loot pool. We've got a pretty big list here. Pretty decent list. Some that have been highly requested. We've got the tech suit, which includes the boots, gauntlet, cap, chest piece, leggings. As well as the tech shield, tech riot shield, tech grenade, the sword, rifle, the cloning chamber, the tech light, and last but not least, the tech turret. Yes, the tech turret is in. All of these are available when you fight the bosses. You will have to go and fight the boss again, or redo the boss fight. I got confirmation on this from the rest of my team, because I know this question was going to be brought up and has been brought up in the Discord in the past. So you will have to redo the bosses, but the bosses will be more rewarding this time. There was an announcement or an alert from some players regarding the in-game broadcasting. Some of the servers were receiving the 15-minute warning that we had pushed out back on the 22nd, whereas other servers didn't receive a warning at all. That is currently being addressed, and we are looking at finding a fix for that to make sure that all servers receive the downtime warning or the update warning 15 minutes prior. All right. A lot of good stuff pushed out yesterday. A lot of good stuff. A lot of fun stuff. Let's talk about the Devkit. So, it's been brought to the team's attention multiple times. A lot of people in the community are asking, you know, where's the Devkit? When is the Devkit going to be here? When are you releasing the Devkit? You know, shouldn't be that hard to push a Devkit out. Why it hasn't been pushed out yet? So there's a few things that are actually currently blocking us from releasing the Devkit at this very moment. A few core game engine bugs that we are still in the process of fixing that are not a simple overnight fix, that are blocking us from pushing out that Devkit to you guys. We want to get to the Devkit as soon as possible, and rather than, you know, push out a Devkit only to have you as players and creators work on your own mods and create mods for the game, and then for us to push out core game updates and then cause those mods to break or potentially break, anything like that, we want to make sure that we isolate and we fix the core issues first before we push out this Devkit to you guys. So I hope that provides some clarity on why it hasn't been pushed out yet, is we're currently working on some core issues that are blocking us from pushing out that Devkit. So we ask you guys just be patient with us a little bit longer as we continue to work on these issues and address these bugs. And again, once we have isolated a fix for them and we've tested the fix, then we will shift to eventually getting to the Devkit. And then any additional updates on that or ETA will be pushed out to you guys in the Discord as well as on socials. So keep an eye out there. Any questions so far? I know there was a bit of a slow start to the chat. Didn't really have a huge Q&A segment, so I can actually open it up for a couple more minutes before we jump into the game. Any word on the barnacle fix? Jammy, could you specify when you say barnacle fix? Is there any new talk on Reapers? At this moment in time, no. No talk on Reapers being tameable or anything of the sort. Being able to put barnacles on anything else besides land dinos currently. Jammy, can we get an answer for that? Do you have any particular ETA for the pre-Aquatica and main game merge? I understand this is a priority, but just curious if you could shed some light on that. I do not have an ETA on that. Jammy might be able to provide some more context regarding that in the pre-Aquatica build. And you guys really like the Abyssal Reaper Queens. All right. We'll do about 60 more seconds for the Q&A, and then we're going to jump in, and we're going to go check out the Anniversary Plaza and the Anniversary Island. I'm also going to show you guys some of the drop spots, too, around the coast of the island. I'll show you guys where some good resource veins are. Quick, easy access underwater, and then back up to the surface if you have a base there to start. Would you guys ever be open to editing the map some more in terms of level design after release, like adding more caves, etc.? No confirmation on that, or we don't have a lot of information regarding that. That has been brought up in discussion, but just as, you know, it would be cool. But right now we are currently focused on, again, fixing the core issues with and the bugs with the DLC. Once we get those fixed and we get things more in a more stable state for Aquatica, then the team will probably go back to discussion regarding that subject matter of additional map features. But only until we get the game in a playable, stable, and functional state for players. Next, when is the next FPS update coming? So we will be pushing out FPS updates through iterations in multiple updates. So I don't have a set ECA on when the next big one will be, but once I do, that'll get pushed out to the Discord. So pay attention to the patch notes as we continue to push out updates, because you'll most expect to see frequent FPS and level optimization updates in there. We're not going to be ending the Q&A. We're chopping it up in different segments here just because we have some things we're going to move on to here, Jens. So don't worry, we will be answering more questions, and there are developers from the team at Sirens here in chat as well to screenshot your question in case I miss it. So if I happen to glance over it, it's not being ignored. It's not being overlooked. We have people on it. Why is there no net projectiles, cliff plats, loadout mannequins, etc.? Jammy Egg, could you answer that question from Jens regarding projectiles, cliff plats? Jammy Egg is another developer with the team here at Sirens, so by all means, if you guys have questions, reach out to him as well, and he'll be able to get to those for you and reply to your questions in chat. On that note, we've got some exploring to do, so continue by all means to post your questions in the chat, and Jammy, other devs, will get to them here, but for now, let's go take a look. Let me turn down the volume here. Let's go take a look at the Anniversary Plaza and the starting island. So I made myself a nice little beach bungalow here. Got a nice little dock. Got it all nice set dressed. Got some really awesome views. You got the shallows off in the distance. You've got the northern islands off in the distance as well. We've got the volcano. And right behind me, we've got the Anniversary Plaza. But it's a little dark, so I don't like that's so dark. I want you guys to be able to see. Let's do like 09. 0900. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So the Anniversary Plaza and the Anniversary Island are two of the beginner zones or easier zones for players whenever you're loading into the game. And underneath the island, you are surrounded. You have multiple different options with what direction you want to go. You know, you can go to the volcano, and directly towards the volcano to the right, if I pull up my map here, you know, you'll have the boiling sea more down in the southeastern corner. You can go more northwest to the shallows. You can go northeast to the sulfur regions, which we're actually going to go to in a little bit. There's so many different avenues that you can take as a player from the Anniversary Island to start your journey into the map of Aquatica. The Anniversary Plaza is not buildable. You cannot build your base in the plaza itself since it is a starting spawn area. But there's a couple of features that I don't think a lot of players have noticed or seen or looked at yet when exploring this area. We did show it off a little bit in the trailer, but I'm going to show you guys live on stream. The red orb looks sideways. You talking about the red obelisk? It's because it is sideways. It's a little crooked, if you ask me. A little crooked. Yeah. Hey, we could... Yeah, a little crooked. There's a couple like that. The blue obelisk is also very crooked. But this is the Anniversary Plaza. So, for Ark Survival Evolved's 10-year anniversary, we wanted to create a POI, or an area that was a representation of community interest, group gathering, and overall fun. And we decided to create some sort of plaza or city-like center to help celebrate that. We've got a really cool feature too that we're going to go check out when I get down here, but I just want to give you guys a little overview of what the plaza looks like. Go ahead and just jump down. I got legs of steel. Hi, friend. So you got this little pedestal. You'll notice a holographic image on the base of the plaza within the center here. And when you come up to this pedestal, you can access our anniversary terminal. The anniversary terminal allows you to access a radial menu of the island, Scorched Earth, Aberration, all of the DLCs for Ark Survival Evolved. And when you click on one of these, let's do the island for example, you'll have access to a holographic image of each logo that has promoted and advertised every Ark Survival Evolved DLC to date. So each one is different. Of course, there's a cooldown timer, so you gotta wait for a little bit. That way you're not spamming it. We'll go to Genesis. I like the Genesis one too. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a nice little fun Easter egg for a nice 10-year celebration. So, something to play around with, just a fun little feature. Alright. Let's go talk about... I mentioned resources, resource veins, and a few good spots to note when you're diving, you're making your first dive into the depths of Aquatica from the starting island. So let's go back over. Is there any other Easter eggs in the map that haven't been discovered yet? I think there's one. It was shown off in stream, but I don't know if any other players have found it. Alright. So, pull up the map for reference here. So, we're looking at... So from the plaza, immediately you are introduced to an entire coral wall, the coral reef, if you will. It's colorful. There's plenty of plant species W's. Wow, that word's very hard for me today. Plenty of plant species W's for you to swim around, regain your oxygen, identify and get familiar with what resources are available to you underwater in Aquatica, and continue to go back and forth from your surface base that you start with and slowly venture deeper and deeper into the map itself. I mentioned in the patch that one of the things we did was a visual update to some of the crystal harvestables. This is one of those visual updates. Originally, this coral plate was more of a darker, like a blackish gray in color material with a little gold hue underneath on its stem. We've since replaced that with a more crystallized look to help identify to the players that this is in fact a crystallized wood harvestable. So that is now currently in the game. And you'll notice that there is quite a bit scattered all throughout the map and all throughout the starting area. So if you need to get yourself a surplus of crystallized wood, if you're building a base underwater with some seaweed foundations or what have you, it's in abundance almost all over. What I like specifically about the Anniversary Island as well and these coral reefs is just the numerous pockets that players can go down and dive into, such as this one here. So much like the crystallized wood, another resource that will be necessary is your crystals as well as barnacles. And in front of me, on one of the tech structures, you can already see some of the barnacle clusters, as well as a few walls and pockets of crystals themselves. This also drops down, and way down in the distance here, there's metal, there's manganese, and additional resources that you can acquire from just this one pocket, and then easily swim back up to the surface to get back to your base. Something that I recommend to players when you are diving and you want to, you don't want to have to worry about your oxygen tanking on you and being slow, add your initial level up points, your XP points, into movement speed, because it's going to make you swim a heck of a lot faster, and then your oxygen. So rather than leveling up your fortitudes, health, stamina, what have you, stamina being for running, your movement speed and oxygen now are going to be more of a priority to update and upgrade as you progress and level up through Aquatica. Yeah, when you increase your movement speed, you swim a heck of a lot faster. I'm only at 106 movement speed right now, but in my main build, when you increase that, once you get to about movement speed, I want to say of about a 130, 140, that's when you're going to start to see a significant difference in speed increase when you're swimming around, from what I've experienced. Along the shores of the Anniversary Island, also, you can find the humus seeds as well as the rice seeds as well. There's rivers that flow through the Anniversary Island that also have these resources, so if that's something you're looking for. Earthworms especially, or any sort of earthworms, look along the coastlines, look along the rivers. That's where you're going to find the most dirt mounds to collect earthworms. So let's go to the opposite side of the map, and I'm going to show you one of the other spots when I mentioned multiple avenues of approach, right? Whether you want to go to the boiling sea, you want to go to the depths, the trench, the crystal caverns, like that pocket that we just explored, that would lead you more towards the crystal caverns biome, or the trench, or the depths. We're going to go to the opposite side now, where you can now have access to the shallows as well as the sulfur region, which is somewhere we're going to have to go for one of our tames later. And a good identifier for the sulfur biome as well is the green obelisk. It sits in a more barren, more bland, sulfury, almost death-like biome and aesthetic. So, landmark, green obelisk. Look for the green obelisk. you know you're going in the right direction for sulfur, as well as if you need bones, salt, things like that. Here's one of the rivers I was talking about, where you can collect the curcuma seeds as well as the rice plants as well. By this point, once you get a ways from the plaza, obviously you don't have to be far away, but you can start building in any of these areas, which are there's some phenomenal areas here on the Anniversary Island for starter bases as well. Hi, friend. Game volume is a touch loud today. Let me turn it down just a tad for you. How's that? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fly to speed up the process here. That way we can just get on with it. We'll follow the river. All right. So, another avenue. Let's say you don't want to go to the Boiling Sea. Let's say you want to really take your time. You want to get into the more friendly player zones with not as many hostile mobs. Then the Shallows is going to be the direction you want to take. So, pull up my map again for a little reference for you. So, once you get to about this spot on the Anniversary Island, you're going to come across these massive struts or pillars almost that shape their way downward in a descent to the water, right, into the map of Aquatica. This area is actually one of the entrances to the Shallows. I'll show you guys here. I'm going to walk. Ah, get away from me, clams. This is also one of my favorite entry points, too, to the Shallows, just because of the transition from the God rays shining down through the water, the numerous different colors and variations in aquatic life and coral. It's something that, you know, to the player, it's very inviting. Right? And that's something that we wanted to do with the Shallows, was make this biome a very inviting space for new players, especially for players who maybe, you know, have a somewhat of a fear of water, right? So we didn't want to make the entire map completely hostile. We wanted to add some variety as far as difficulty throughout the biomes. We've already explored the Shallow Zone in a previous stream, so we'll come back to that another time. But if we want to do another tour in a future stream, by all means, let me know. After, of course, we cover the rest of the Northern Islands, and then maybe even some bosses in the future. Who knows? But on the opposite side of this wall, where we have beauty, we have color, we have vibrancy, and warm aesthetics, is a complete 180. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So we're about to head over into the Sulfur region, and immediately upon transitioning from the Shallows and the islands, like I said, complete 180 as far as aesthetic. It's more bland, it's barren, there's bones everywhere, sulfur geysers, sulfur mounds, dead aquatic life, a ton of sharks. This is not a very friendly place to be. But we've got lobsters, and we've got mantis shrimp, which we're actually going to go take a look at them later. This guy wants the smoke. Just going to get rid of that real quick. Oh, hi, dolphin. Yes, we are going to be taking a look at the Homerus, as well as the mantis shrimp. Okay, guys. All right, hey, let's chill. Let's chill. Come on. Let's chill. I've got a few tames back at the little hut that we're going to go take a look at. I'm going to show you guys what they look like. There's one tame in particular that is... I'll tell you guys the steps to taming it. Some of the tames we will not do start to finish for it, but if you guys would like a full guide or step-by-step of taming different tames and dinos in Aquatica, please push it out in the Discord, push it out here, and that's something that the team and I can start working on. Let's go back over to our little island here, our little hut. There we go. There I am. We got a frog. Hello, friend. All right. So we've got some of our Takifujus here. I've got a couple tamed ones. And then I've got another friend here, a little special friend. I think he's hiding. Yeah, he's hiding right now. There's a lot of bigger fish around, and he doesn't want to be involved with that, so... But, this is Shrimpy. Shrimpy is one of our mantis shrimp tames that you can acquire. He can sit on your shoulder like a good little mantis shrimp. And these guys are more prominent in the sulfur regions that we just looked at. So I'm going to show you guys some of the areas that they swim around in. I'm going to show you as well as where some of the Takifuju spawn, which are very close to the Anniversary Island, as well as the lobster itself as our last tame. The lobster is going to be more of a verbal how-to with it, just because with my current settings right now, I kind of just obliterate the lobsters when attempting to tame. It was not a good day for lobsters before starting the stream. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, but at least I can show you guys a couple of the tames and then verbally explain for some others, because it seems like there was some confusion on how to tame things like the mantis shrimp and the Takifuju. And you guys were also curious about what the Takifuju does when you put it in a mode called torpedo mode. So we're going to find out what torpedo mode is, and I think you guys are going to have a laugh out of it. It's pretty funny. Can you use butter on the lobsters? Don't say that in front of Shrimpy. That is rude. Very, very rude. Why would you say that? Shrimpy has feelings too, you know. He's technically not a lobster, but, like, he's a little lobster. As far as, like, actually putting butter on lobsters, I don't know. That'd be a pretty cool mod, in my opinion. Alright. Let's, There we go. There you go. Go have fun, Shrimpy. Alright, so for the Takifujus. For taming Takis, they are going to be more of essentially a kill tame, right? You're not going to use blunt force. You're not going to use a trank on Takis. You're essentially going to have to kill the Takifuju. And one of the key differences, though, instead of just killing it and then continuously hitting it with your weapon, you want to take a hardened knife. This is the same tool, the same weapon that you use when you are trying to acquire barnacles off of any of the sunken tech structures. And once you do that, you're going to harvest the corpse of the Taki with your knife, and that will have a chance of spawning an egg for the Takifuju, which then you're going to have to raise. So that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to tame a Takifuju. All right, I'm not gonna kill my Takifujus here because that would be very mean. I don't want to do that. They're just chilling. They're just chill Takis. It is dark, but hey, it's the circle of life in Ark. You know what I mean? All right, let's go find a couple spawns for Takis. We saw a couple, actually, in the shallows. I'm pretty sure you guys saw them on stream. If not, I can go back to them. But there's also a couple spots more near the shallows coast and the sulfur coast that they do spawn in. They usually spawn in about pairs of 2 to 3. So, not hard to find. What do we think of the Anniversary Island so far? Have you guys fully explored it, or do you guys plan on continuing to explore it further? Raven, welcome. We are about to go find some Takifuju spawns. Also curious for the chat. From this last update and this last patch, what's your guys' experience with it? Yeah, so this is called the Anniversary Island because on it there's an Anniversary Plaza. You'll be able to rewatch this whole VOD of the stream, and I go into detail and talk about the reasoning behind it being called Anniversary Island and what it's for. But yeah, we are on Anniversary Island. Very fun time. A lot of frogs. A lot of frogs. Yes, absolutely. One of the safest spawn points to start on. It's very player friendly, as well as the surrounding coastal regions of the island that you can drop into when you want to go underwater. There are a plethora of coral reefs that allow you to get better suited with and familiar with the resources available to you underwater, what gives you what. As well as some of the new crystallized wood resources, which we've done a visual overhaul on. More details on that in the VOD review. But a lot of great stuff here. Oh, man. What are those small crocodile lizard things? Jamie, can you remind me of the name? I always butcher it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go away. I didn't mean to. But you guys. Alright. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, these friends, little guys here. Hey, little Tiktaalics. Yeah. The Tiktaalics, I can play hide and seek with you. I'll go and turn on cinematic mode. So, let me see if I can hide. If he'll do anything. Can't remember. Did it once before my off time, but yeah, they're just fun little guys, little dinos. All right. This is another good spot, too, for base building on the Anniversary Island. You're more closer towards the shallows, which, for visual direction, the large upright structures or sunken struts or skyscrapers. My current map direction, I'm facing the shallows biome. It's more in the northwestern portion of the map. We're going to go over to the sulfur area. Fender, tell your clams to stop it. Alright. Let's go find some Takis. Boom, right here. Alright, so visual cue, sunken structure. I'll pull up the map for you guys to see if you want to take a screenshot or whatever need be. Hi, guys. But right before you enter the actual sulfur biome itself, you'll find quite a few of the Takifuju spawns closer to the more shallow portions of the Anniversary Island. So this is where you can find them. I told you guys how to tame them. And again, if you guys would like a more thorough step-by-step guide, please let me know. There's been a request for quite a few guides, so trying to work on some documentation to present with the team to see if we can get some sort of guide series going for you guys. More details on that later. Right now, it's all just fun. But it's something you want to like us to do, please let us know. All right, guys. Yeah, I get it. Cool. You like the pearl. They like the pearl. I think it's the pearl outfit. All right, guys. Let's calm down. All right. Who wants to know where to go find some mantis shrimp and the lobster? Some people already may know, but for those who haven't played it yet and want to know ahead of time, let's go check it out. We're going to be going into a pretty dangerous area. The mantis shrimp are kind of mean, fair warning right now, but I'm actually going to show you guys in real time how to tame a mantis shrimp. So, want a whole map tour? So in recent streams, exclamation YouTube in chat, it will take you, oh wow, there's a lot of the guys. Okay, we're just going to dive. Exclamation YouTube in chat will take you to the channel where the playlist of Aquatica dev streams are posted, and you can actually watch all of the other explorations from the Boiling Sea, the Shallows, the Crystal Caverns, the Abyss even. Wait, absolutely. Ask all questions. Ask all questions. It is completely okay to ask questions. I'll go ahead and put YouTube in here for you guys. Exclamation YouTube. There's the link to it. That's where you can find the Aquatica dev streams. You can also post your questions there if they happen to get missed by any of the developers that are hanging out in chat or myself. I'll be posting those as well to our dev chat. So yeah, the sulfur region here, this was another biome done by one of our other level designers. Very own Kel'Thuzad, if he's in the chat. Go ahead and give a wave, Kel. But, again, very hostile territory compared to what you are going to be experiencing on the opposite side of the coastal line for the Anniversary Island. Completely opposite. Very dangerous, very hostile. Lobsters everywhere, mantis shrimp everywhere. Let's see if we can find one. Nope, you're not a mantis shrimp. They are very small, but some good places to look. I actually see one right there. Some good places to look when you get closer to the green obelisk. There's quite a few that actually spawn in this area. So, I see one right there. Now, what you're going to need to do... I'm going to start with a small fish. You're going to need a fish. Right? You're not going to harvest a fish. You're going to hold a fish like this. We're going to go hand feed a shrimp. I'm going to get close. Alright. So now he's going to keep attacking me, which is kind of the up and down regarding this. You have to hand feed the mantis shrimp fish in order for him to, for them to be tamed. So, eat the fish. Eat the fish. Eat the fish. Is this too big for you? Hey, there we go. Alright. Chat, what are we naming the mantis shrimp? I'm going to let you guys decide. George. Of all the names we could think of, we're going to name it George. Stimpy, Butterclaw, Bob, Rupert. Call it Fred, Keith. These names are absolutely insane. Oh, man. I think we need a vote. Hold on. We need a poll. We need a poll. So we've got Stimpy, George, Butterclaw. That's pretty funny. Keith, and Rupert. Okay. All right. Now, this could be a chat vote. Duration. You guys got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to decide. Okay? 2 minutes. Ready? Go. Polls up, everybody. We got Keith. Oh, man. Well, Butterclaw taking the lead hardcore with 5 votes. Oh, but wait, hold on. Going down. Stimpy with the 3. Butterclaw 45% right now. Climbing back up to 50. Stimpy at 23%. So far right now, it's between Butterclaw and Stimpy. Every other one have 1, so what are we doing here? We got 6 votes to Butterclaw, 3 to Stimpy. We've got plenty of time left on the clock here, so what are we going to do? What are we doing here, chat? If you haven't voted yet, go vote on our Mantis Shrimp Tame's name. It is up to you, chat. I'm counting on you. There's no way we just have that many votes. Come on. Oh, Rupert's got 2. George has got 2. Hold on. Wait a minute. 14% for both. So far, Butterclaw is pretty heavy, holding well with 6. Wait, but Stimpy's got 4. 4 to 6. It needs 2 more for Stimpy to tie. 5 for Stimpy. 29%. 1 more to tie it with Butterclaw. Rupert's up to 3 now, as well as George. Six votes go to Stimpy, tying up with Butterclaw, 32 to 32 right now. It is a tie between the two with just a little bit of time remaining on Stimpy or Butterclaw. Who is it going to be? What is the name of the Mantis Shrimp? Will it be Stimpy? Will it be Butterclaw? Will any of the others make a comeback? Let's see. Not that much time left here. Somebody's got to make a tiebreaker. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the winning deciding vote? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And a 7th vote coming in for Butterclaw, making Butterclaw at the very end the name of our chat tamed Mantis Shrimp. Everyone, little pogs in chat, hypes, claps. Good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. Butterclaw it is. Accept. All right, welcome to the fam, Butterclaw. Don't ask why I have all these. I was experimenting with the cannon off stream. That was fun, chat. Did you guys like that? That was a fun time. You guys want to do more taming contests like that, where we make a poll for names and you guys choose? Sweet. Lobster gets Stimpy. All right, we'll find out. We'll see. Okay, so speaking of lobsters, much like the Mantis Shrimp, the lobsters in this area are very, very popular. The Sulphur region is going to be a very lobster-dense area, if you will. You got red lobsters, you got blue lobsters, you got all the lobsters down here. And earlier today, I was kind of I was doing some lobster hunting myself, and well, I decided to make myself a little perch, if you will. Who pulled the bribery out? It was all fair play. Okay, listen. Oh, wait, I have some friends. Oh, wait, no. I didn't mean to do that. Aim left. Aim again. Okay. All right. Hi, guys. All right. So, to tame a lobster, first you gotta knock him out. Sometimes it doesn't always work. But he gets... Okay. Alright, this is, So, yeah, you gotta knock out a lobster with a cannon. Why are you... No. Hey, come here, you. Stop it. This lobster is not a paid actor, if you can't tell. Oh, get him, Butterclaw! Oh, no. Oh, well, that sucks. Alright. I'm gonna have to swim up here. So, that attempt was an example of what you have to use when, much like taming the crabs, much like taming crabs in, it is a similar way for using a cannon or a catapult. You use a catapult to knock out the lobster, or use a cannon to knock out the lobster, and then from there you have to, Jamie, remind me again, from there it's the same as like you putting the raw fish meat in inventory. I've got a large list here of the steps just to write down. Hold on. Butterclaw wants lobster for lunch. Yeah, Butterclaw's got a Tiny Titan energy over here. I love it. Where's Butterclaw, by the way? Oh, there you are. Come here. Come here, Butterclaw. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. He's safe. Is there not an easier way? No, not necessarily. It's more fun this way, if you think about it. Because, you know, you got to be strategic. You can't just, you know, it's not like other tames where you can just go up and just whack it, knock it out, you know. Lobsters have a hard shell. And they got a very big claw, which I don't know if you guys saw earlier. Hold on. I'm going to tell... disable following. Alright. Butterclaw, you stay here. Of course it's fun. Alright, I'm going to show you guys a fun feature with the lobster here. See that giant claw? Watch what happens when I get close. Oh, you know, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. He's really trying. He's really trying. You know you want to use it. Sometimes it takes him a minute. Not all lobsters are strategic fighters. Oh, yeah, see, okay, he's done. He's done. He just stopped. But so anyway, the large claw is something that you want to try to stay away from as much as possible when you are engaging a lobster, because he'll pick you up and he'll throw you around. He'll thrash you around and ragdoll you all over the place. It's a fun time. Oh, I'm aware I'm immune. I'm aware. I want to refrain from getting arced 24/7. The whole purpose of these is to just showcase certain areas and showcase features and tames. So, yes, absolutely. I am in God mode. You are absolutely correct. In my more casual playthroughs where I'm actually playing legitimately, no, there's no God mode or any additional tools made. So. But that is how you tame and acquire the lobster. That's how you tame and acquire the mantis shrimp. And that's how you tame and acquire the takifuju. And if you guys just joined in at any point in time here recently... No, he's able to pick you up in God mode still. He's able to. When I was doing this off stream and getting things prepped, like my little cannon perch, which he obliterated, he picked me up and threw me around. Alright. Come with me, little man. Alright. So let's recap. Let's recap. Let me put on some music. So, we talked about the patch notes from yesterday's update. We discussed the situation with the Devkit. We looked around the Anniversary Plaza, as well as the Anniversary Island. And we showed off a couple tames. The takifuju, where to find them, as well as where to find your mantis shrimp and lobsters. All, if you couldn't tell, are very close to the Anniversary Island. So you don't have to go far, especially at the beginning, when you are starting your journey at Aquatica for specific tames. So, if you guys missed anything, if you're joining in and late, don't worry. This whole stream will be unedited and uncut and will be available for you to watch from start to beginning on your free time on YouTube, as well as in the videos and highlights on the Twitch page here. Exclamation YouTube in chat, and you will be able to get a link directly to the channel itself. That being said, got about 15 minutes. Man, we really crushed it today with time. Did that pretty well. About 15 minutes to go into a final Q&A. So 15 minutes. The floor is open to all of you. Any questions you have, now's the time to ask. Well, it's always been the time to ask, but I got my pen, I got my notepad ready. Devs are in chat ready to screenshot your messages as well. We would also like to know, this is coming from the team as a whole, for those of you who have played the most recent update with the most recent patch, we would love to hear your experience with it. If you guys are encountering any new issues since this update, if you're encountering any new bugs, please by all means let us know. Because again, your feedback is valid. It's important to us because we take that and we apply it to the pipeline list of things to look into for fixes to push out in future patches. Where do I find the seahorse? Charlotte, Boiling Sea. Still say swimming snow owls. Jamie, can we get that written down? Can we put a pin on the swimming snow owls? That would be very interesting, actually. An owl that swims underwater, an aquatic owl. Interesting. Huh. Thalassian shotgun. You're speaking Jammy's language. I got a fun story about Jammy, actually. When we were doing a team play test, we were on the starting islands, and there's in more the northern islands, which we'll go to next stream next Tuesday. There is a massive swamp-like area with a bunch of gators, and Jammy just could not, for the life of him, get to the main base without getting chased and eaten by the gators. So finally, one day, when Jammy finally got to the base, he had had enough of them gators, and he made a shotgun, went out. He made a whole thatch hut in the swamp area, and in the distance, you just hear the shotgun going off frequently. And we'd be in the Discord, be like, Jamie, what are you doing? He's like, I'm killing gators. So, yeah, Thalassian shotgun's a good idea. Could could help with the underwater gators. Those gators got to learn, absolutely. Can the minimap be made better? Better as in like color? Here, let me. Like for me, like more color. Brighten it up for you. Some more colors on the map. Like a more visual hues, visual references, maybe some more like distinct coloration between the biomes. Kind of like how the Boiling Sea right now is more of a darker set of colors and color tone. Shallows maybe more vibrant colors, things like that. Is that what you're thinking? Thalassian sniper rifle? That would be sick. That'd be sick. Better distinguished biomes? Okay, okay. Hard to differentiate the islands and things at the moment. Gotcha. Okay. I'll write that down as well. I'm also writing down the Thalassian armaments because that would be a fun feature in the future. Like after we get everything situated with, you know, the broken mod situation, core game functionality, and map and level streaming and all that stuff is stabilized and good to go and functional. Yeah, that'd be a really cool feature. Can I transfer creatures from Aquatica to other maps yet on single player? Jamie, can I get an answer for Suzu here on that question? How to tame a rift crawler. So to tame a rift crawler, so first I want to preface the rift crawler taming is currently bugged. We found an issue with it where it you can't knock it out like you're supposed to, but you have to use blunt force. It's resistant to ranged attacks and resistant to tranks. So you were supposed to use blunt force on the rift crawler to knock it out, and then that's how you tame it. At the moment, we're still working on a fix for that to make sure that it does work. So this, as soon as I know that they're tameable, it'll be pushed out to Discord. So keep an eye out there. Like everything else that I've talked about, and I've mentioned it so many times now, you guys will know, and I'll continue to say it to everybody here, you guys will know as soon as there's any updates on ETAs or news, patches, etc. The Discord will be the first place to get a ping and notification. I will be pushing that out myself as well as the admins there. Steam will get a discussion announcement for it, and it'll be pushed out to other socials. So the second we get any updates and information that we can release to you guys in the community, we'll push that out. Where are the rift crawlers at? So for the rift crawlers, you have to wait for a rift walker to spawn. When the rift walker spawns, pay attention to the feet, or the claws, if you will, of the rift walker, because the rift crawlers spawn towards the bottom of their feet and claws, and then they just sink to the surface of the map. An actual ship item would be cool rather than rafts. A ship with proper helm, wheels would be cool. Like Sea of Thieves, is it a water map? Okay, that's pretty cool. It's a cool idea, like an actual ship. Not like a motor raft or a regular raft. How do I kill the Abyssal Reaper? He is ruining my life. You just gotta be a head charger and get after him. You gotta attack him before the Reaper attacks you, you know? The best defense is a great offense. And a shotgun. Yeah, like Jamie said, shotgun. Because the Abyss is an air bubble, essentially. It's an air dome, right? So you're not swimming. So surface weapons like the assault rifle, the shotgun, the pistols, things like that, they work in the Abyss. And mantis shrimp. Get yourself about a dozen mantis shrimp tames. Granted, they probably won't work the best in the Abyss itself, but outside of the Abyss, phenomenal time. Just an army of mantis shrimp. Clam mines are the best defense. I need to know the origin story behind the clams. You haven't, I haven't heard this origin story yet behind the fascination of clams, Fender, but I feel like the world needs to know. So like whenever you want to drop that lore, I'll be first in line to hear it. Or if you want to speak freely about the lore to the chat here, that'd be fantastic. Team clam? Team jellyfish, what do you mean? Oh my goodness. Abilities, tame abilities. I forgot to show you guys torpedo mode. Wow. Hold on. Hold on. We need to Superman back over to base. You guys gotta see torpedo mode. It won't take long. It's pretty funny. I think you guys are gonna laugh. How rude of me to not show you guys. Okay, first off. Alright. There you go, Butterclaw. You can be with Shrimpy. Alright, so I'll take Gillis here, for example. So on Gillis, you have a mode called torpedo mode. So first off, let me pick up Gillis. So you can pick up Gillis. Alright. Just swim around with Gillis. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, Gillis. Put your spikes away. Alright, so Gillis. I can throw Gillis. Let's level up real quick. Now, we have this mode called torpedo mode. So when I threw Gillis, nothing happened. Right? Gillis, just throwing Gillis around in the water, having fun. When you enter torpedo mode, let's say you're in a bit of a pickle. Maybe you're in PvP and you got a new player coming up and they're just trying to knock you out, right, with a club. Maybe they're trying to spear you, right? Maybe they're trying to swim after you. And you just so happen to have a Takifuju. You might have a Gillis. Let's say you've tamed a Gillis, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick up Gillis. Have torpedo mode enabled. Now, when I throw Gillis, like let's say, all right, hold on. I'm going to go to my other Taki. So let's say my other Takifuju here is chasing me. Man, this is a player, and I've got a tame Takifuju in my hand. I'm trying to swim away. He's getting close. I throw it. Immediately spikes out. Torpedo mode. And when they run into it, boom, spikes, poisoned. It's a fun little ability to have. Yeah, it's a nice little fun one. It should explode. Should it explode? Yeah. It's looking like it's exploding. There's a little aura effect. Yo, come over and show me. Oh, Jammy's coming over. Come on over, Jammy. Jammy is in control, chat. All right, heard it first from Jammy, and I quote, okay, we'll look into that. So apparently, and this is news to me actually, I was only aware that it just throws its spikes out. Apparently, yeah, it's supposed to actually explode, like full-on explode, kamikaze style, and cause damage, like AoE damage. So, sweet. I learned something too, chat. Let's go. Oh, man. Alrighty. GG's in chat. Yes, GG's. It's a one-time use fish. It's technically an underwater grenade, okay? Add to list. Yep, add to list. Just get the pen out real quick here. Note to self, does not explode. Alright guys, we got about 2 more minutes here before we're going to wrap things up. Feel bad for laughing. Don't feel bad. I laugh too. And this is also the beauty of it, with, you know, with how many things that we're currently actually working on as far as bugs and everything. We still come across different smaller bugs, right? Not necessarily something that's game breaking like a Takifuju having to explode, but it's something, yeah, we gotta log it. The circle of life when it comes to game development, ladies and gentlemen. Butterclaw, we're going to see him next. Yes, you guys are going to see Butterclaw, okay? I'm not going to delete the save data for the single player. You will see Butterclaw, okay? What if you don't want to lose your tame fish by don't throw him. Then don't throw your tame. Then don't. No, don't have to. There are plenty of other methods out there. Tame a Megalodon. There you go. That's your home defender. You know where to find them now. Leave a pin in it. Yep, just put a pin in it right there. Chat, get a pin. Alrighty, guys. Will the explosion scale with melee damage to make it... Ooh, good question, Charlie. I will ask that. We'll get that logged. The Butterclaw will... Yeah, it's not the player. Butterclaw, the Mantis Shrimp, will lead the player base to Ascendance and the Alpha Boss. Alright, everybody. Well, we're coming up on our time here. As always, nobody leave. You guys know what's next. You guys know what's coming. We gotta go find a fellow streamer. We gotta find somebody to raid. So we're gonna go take a look at that. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has shown up today with your questions. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this stream. We will not have a developer stream tomorrow. If you guys are not aware, for those who haven't seen the update in the Discord, developer streams will be going on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So tune in then for the Aquatica developer streams. Going forward, that's going to be the set schedule, right? Instead of them being daily. Let's see. Who do we want to raid? Who is playing Ark Survival Evolved? There's a few people, actually. There is a first-time player of Ark Survival, everybody. Pull up their game. Zero Melon Dingo. First time playing Ark. So I'm going to get this queued up to raid. First time player, we got to go share the love. So if you're new here to this stream, there's a few rules that I have and a few requests I have from you all. When you go into this individual's raid, the streamer's current stream and playing, I want you guys to go in loud. Spam it, swell raid, dev raid, whatever you got to do. But make this a great experience for the streamer, for this new Ark player, and give them a follow. Let's try to get them up to 50 followers. We got 43 peeps in chat. Let's go help them out. Let's do that. So I got it ready. We're going to be going here in about 6, 5. This has been another Aquatica developer stream with your host, Z-Swell. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time for another dev stream with more updates, more fun stuff, more tames, and some Northern Island exploration. See you guys then. Peace out, y'all.